Right.
Marty.
$4,000 coffee. I think went home.
How much do you pay?
$10 each.
All right.
Want me to give you a picture? And the cookies, put the cookies on top.
Talking about the peso.
Okay.
Oh, look like you shoot your name.
Yes,
Oh, go for it.
go for it.
Behave.
All right, we'll start with the learning sponsors. Year of learning, Isaac and Evelyn Blocher in memory of his sister, Chaya Rocha Bas Isser. Friends of Leonie Meiselman, Leah Sabra Bas Chanakunda. Friends of Mela Skatsky, Moshe Zelev and Mordechai, Martin Littman and family in memory of his wife, Malka Chana Bas Pinchas. Friends of Herb Jeremiah Tzvi Ben Zev. A month of learning, Josh and Carol Sandborn in memory of his mother, Kinya Bas Arya Leib, and his father, Shmuel Arya Ben Baruch. P. Beiser in memory of her mother, Rezo Bat Shammai, Leah and Tova Zimmer in memory of his father, Tzvi Ben Israel, and his mother, Yocheved Bas Yaakov Menachem Mendel. Melon and Aaron Heller in memory of his mother, Fega Bas Yaakov. Eve Heiser in memory of her stepfather, Abram Michael Ben Shmuel Levi. Jill and Perry Meltzer in memory of her father, Yaakov Ben Yosef. And Andrea and David Donley in memory of her mother, Adil Tzina Bas Shimshon. A week of learning sponsored by Jack Kaufman in memory of his wife, Devorah Necha Bas Mordechai Tzvi. The family of Esther Shepatovsky in memory of their mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, Esther Reba Bas Betzalel. Nimli Shavrik in memory of her husband, Yeshua Ben Nehemiah Mordechai. Evelyn and Isaac Lacher in memory of her mother, Harold Rivko Bas Rabbi Nachum Mendel Elazar, and Hershey and Leah Mendelson in memory of his father, Baruch Ben Avram. And a day of learning, today is 3:10. Jack and Shua Prince in memory of his mother, Leah, his mother, Leah Elka Bas Yisrael. Okay. We are on the bottom of Memhay on the base of the Mishnah. And just to go back over what we were talking about, so we were talking about when the Nazir can when he can cut his hair, at what stage in the process, whether he has to wait for all korbanos or one korban. And
What if he wasn't in Jerusalem, like he said, he could have been in Spain?
right,
And he was a Muslim.
no, he can't do anything. The only way he can complete his Naziris is to come to the base of Mikdash.
Which carbon does he have to bring?
All three of them.
All three in order for him to get the.
So the Mishnah said there was an argument between Rebbe Eliezer and Chachamim whether he only had to bring one or all three of them. But I mean, the Chachamim say if he brings one, then he can cut his hair and complete the rest of the process.
What you're saying to me right now, after the 30 days and he's not near the base of Mikdash, he is stuck.
He is stuck until the point in time when he can come to the base of Mikdash and fulfill do the rest of the process.
What is he?
He's tar. No, he has to stay. He's a Nazir. He can't drink wine, do anything a Nazir can't.
He continues to be in his status
As his Nazir. Right.
Completes all of the requisite.
But you told me he can't send it UPS.
No, he can't send to UPS. He can't send to UPS. the Gemara was talking about just one final note, and then we'll go on. The Gemara was talking before about darshaning the words Pesach Olam Moed, and we said that means shlomen. And when you think about it, there's a very good reason why it means the shlomen, or it means where the place, because it can't mean a chatos. Because a chatos can't be shechted at the Pesach Olam Moed. The chatos and the olah have to be Pesach tzavona. So the only korban that could be darshan Pesach Olam Moed is a shlomen, because then the shlomen can be darshan anywhere in the chutz. Okay. So the Mishnah says, "Hayamavashu as a shlomen." So after he brought the shlomen, he cooked it, and he was mavashu it or shulkan. Shulkan means very well cooked. That's close to overcooking it. Huh? Overcooked. So normally he could shecht it, the Kohen could shecht it too, but the Kohen did the rest of the process. All he did was the shechita. So the question here is whether he, as a nazir, whether he's allowed into the Beis Hamikdash. I mean, if he's Tomei, we can't be, but if he's a nazir Tahir, there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to. So the Mishnah says that he cooked, it was mavashel the shlamim or shokum, and he overcooked it, and a kohen nota was a zroya b'shelim in oil. He took the foot, the leg that's cooked from the aisle, v'chalam matzah achas minasal, and there was a basket with breads, and he took a challah matzah, and he took rekik matzah achas, and a matzah cracker, and a matzah challah. The noisein al kapi and nazir, he put them on the hands of the nazir, umanifan, and the nazir waved them. Okay, and then the Mishnah goes on and says that after the waving, the hutter on nazir lishtois yayin latam in a mason. After he waved the zeroah and the bread, then he's mutter to drink wine and become Tam Mason. He's completed the Naziris. Rav Shimon Omer, Kivan Shenizrak Olav Echad Min Adaman, since when they slaughtered one of the three korbanos and brought the dam of one of the korbanos on the Mizbeach, Hutter an Nazar Lishtois B'yayin Ulitam and Mason. The nazir is then permitted to drink wine and could become Tom in the Mason. Only, huh? After anyone. After anyone. After anyone.
Before waving.
Huh?
Before waving.
Oh, so according to Reb Shimon, it would seem he doesn't really have to wave it either. If he didn't wave it, it's not ma'aka. It doesn't hold back the whole process, because he's saying once he shechted one of the garbanos, he's mutter.
Before you cook it, maybe.
Well, this roya had to be. The Mishnah said it had to be cooked, and he waved it when it was cooked.
The nazir can't enter before he becomes pure. He has to wait outside until then.
We're not talking about another.
We're talking about another Torah. He could enter. Another Torah, there's no reason why he could
I
not.
understand, but he has to get tahar before he goes in, right?
Yeah, he's completed his 30 days and he never became Talmud. He's automatic. He's still Torah.
Are we without the kabbalas?
The Kabbanis complete the process, but he has to be Tahar from touching a mace before he can go into the Beis Hamikdash.
30 days is over. He has to
You know,
go
during the
first.
30 days, one of the things he has to be is tahar.
Right, let's say he's. So he's sorry after 30 days without becoming.
He's not supposed to become tummy during the 30 days. Okay, so the Gemara says Tana Rabban. Acher Yishta Nazar Yain. The pasuk says that after he does these things, Yishta Nazar Yain, then he can drink wine. So the Gemara says Acher Kol Hamaisim Kuam. So this Tana holds that Acher Yishta Nazar Yain means after he's done everything. After he's done all the things, then he becomes. Divrei Rabbi Lezer. For Chacham Mamrim, but the Chacham say that Achar doesn't mean after everything, but it means Achar Meiser Yechidi. After doing one step of the process, then he's mutter to drink wine, he's completed the Nazirs. My time, Ayo the Rabban. What is the reasoning of the Rabbanan say after Meiser Achad? Ksib Hacha, because it says in one place, after he did something, then the Nazir could drink wine. And it says in another pasuk that the Kohen should take the Zorei B'Sheila and put it on the Nazir's hands. Achar his kalchu es nizra. After he was megoleach his hair. So the Gemara says we're going to make a Gzer Shabbat. Achar. It's after one thing because it says after he cuts his hair. So that's one of the steps. So Afkan Achar Maisi Yichidi. The Gzer Tava tells us that as long as he does one of the things, then he can cut his hair. So the Gemara says Ema Adi Tavayu. Let's say it doesn't mean one, maybe it means two, maybe it doesn't mean all three, but it means more than one. So the Gemara says, if you want to say it means two or more, then you don't need the Gzer Shava. So the Gzer Shava tells you one. Maisa Yechid. Okay. So the Gemara goes on. Amaram. Rab says, Tenufa benazir makebes, the waving of the zroa and the chala is ma'akav, meaning that if he doesn't do it, according to Rab, he is not completed, he's still a nazir until he does the waving. Okay, that's what Rab holds. So Tenufa benazir makebes, that's what Rab says. So the more asks the kasha, I'll leave it in mind. Who does Rav hold like? Does he hold like Rabbi Lezer, or does he hold like the Chacham? So the Gemara says, "Ilema, I'll leave it Rabbanan." If you want to say he holds like the Rabbanan, that you only have to do one thing. So Taglachas Amri Rabbanan lo ma'akba. The Rabbanan have already told us that cutting the hair is not ma'akba because he only has to do one thing. He only has to bring the blood of one korban, and he can drink wine and be matame. So according to the Rabbanan, even taglachas is lo ma'akba. So tenupat ma'akba. Are you going to say then that according to the Chachamim, tenufa is ma'akav? Ella, the Gemara says, aliba the Rebbe Lezer, that Rav is making a statement according to Rebbe Lezer, who says you have to do everything. And he's still saying that tenufa is ma'akav. Why? So the Gemara says it's a cheetah. But ha'amar Rav Elazar achar ha'maisim kuam, after everything. So ma'u the same I might have thought. Kivin delinyan kapara shari mitzvahi. There are a number of other karbonos that you have to do tenufa, and the Gemara says that tenufa means waving. He waves the parts of the animal. Well, no, it means waving the person waves the parts of the
What does that mean, waving?
wave.
Over his head?
No, not over his head, moving it forward and backward and this way and that way. That's like the lulav, right? That's called tanufa waving,
Thank you, because I thought also.
right? No. So the Gemara says, whenever you have a korban that has to have a waving, that is called shiura mitzvah. It's not ma'aka. It's something that you have to, you should do, but you don't have to do. So, peripheral. That would be the better way to say it. So hachinami, I might think here with respect to the nazar that the tanufa should also be sh'arei mitzvah and not ma'akiv. So kamash malon. So Rav comes along and says that according to Rabbi Lezer, the tanufa is ma'akev. Okay. So the more go on the top of Memvav base, umi ma'akba is the tanufa ma'akba. I'll give to the more brings a brisa. Basanya, we learned in the brisa, Zos Torah and Nazar. This is the Torah, the law of the Nazar. When the Gemara darshans the word, the Gemara understands the word Torah to mean that the laws of a Nazar apply to one Nazar the same way as they apply to another Nazar. In other words, we don't make differences between different, they're uniform. So now the Gemara is going to explain. So the Gemara says that the pasuk said that the Kohen takes the Zorah B'Shelu and he puts it on the man's hand with the matzah, and he does the tnufa this way and that way, backward, forward. All right. So the Gemara says, the Brisa says, Bein sheyesh lo kapayim, bein she'ein lo kapayim. Whether the person has hands or he doesn't have hands. What if a man never lost his arms? How can he has to hold it in his hands and make the waving. How can he do it? So if he doesn't fulfill it, does he always have to be a Nazir? I mean, that's the Gemara's question. All right. So the Gemara is saying Zos, that Torah's achas means that it doesn't make a difference whether he has hands or he doesn't. If he doesn't have hands, he can't fulfill it, but he still goes. If he doesn't do it, he still fulfills the process and completes his nazirship. So the same way a person who could do it doesn't have to do it. That's Torah achas. In other words, just like the one who can't do it is okay. So the one who could do it, if he didn't do it, is okay. That's Torah. Alice, so the Gemara says, what about another brisa? Ha Desanya, we learned in the brisa, it says Zos Torah and Nazir. And the Gemara says, what do we learn from that? Bein sheyesh bo seir, bein she'ein bo seir. Whether the person has hair or he doesn't have hair. So, as the rabbi would say, he's follicle challenged. A person comes to the base of Mikdash, right? He's a Nazir. He's taller, everything. He's bald. He's bald. What do you do? How do you cut his hair?
You go through the motions.
Okay. So the Gemara says, you're right. Well, I'm not going to jump, but you're right. The Gemara says, Bein sheyesh bo seir, bein she'ein bo seir. So if you learn it the same way, then you're going to say, if a person who doesn't have hair, because he can't do the process because he doesn't have it, it's not ma'akib. So a person who has hair who doesn't cut it is also not ma'akib.
Did we learn that he has to have a 30-day growth in order to it be considered? Well, for him, the 30-day growth is nothing. Does it mean hair on the head? Could it mean hair on the body?
Well, the Nazir, only cuts, shares the head. He doesn't cut the whole body like the Levium or the Mitzvah. Right. The Nozer just has to share.
Is that what I was thinking?
Yeah.
So that's what the Gemara wanted to think. We're gonna, this is only a Havamim. But what the Gemara is saying is, are you saying that you should make the same, just like you made the same comparison by the hands, are you gonna make the same comparison with the hair?
But when you look around here, you see most of the people who have hair on the top of their head still have hair at a crown, around the top.
So, but as somebody who has hair, whatever hair they have, they could cut off, that's called tachlachas. But if you don't have any hair at all, then you can't do anything. Right. So the Gemara says, "Hachi nami lo ma'achma." Are you going to tell me it's not ma'aka? So the Gemara says, "Asanya." We learned in a brayso, Nazar Memura, a Nazar who is bald, all his hair is fallen out. Beishamai omrim ein sorach lahavir ta'ar al rosha. He does not need to put the razor over his head to complete the nazir. He can't do it. What would putting the razor over his head do? Nothing. So Beis Shammai says he doesn't have to do it. All right. But Beis Hillel says, Sorech lahaber tar al rosha. Beis Hillel says he has to shave his head.
Look like he, in other words, make an effort.
You're doing the process. You're going through the motions. Okay. So Beis Hillel says Sorech lahaber tar al rosha.
You're implying Machshava has no value in this situation.
Huh?
You're implying Machshava has
No.
no effect here.
No. The Amar Ravina. Ravina says, Ravina tries to explain this brisa. My enu tzorach. What does it mean? You do, according to Beis Shammai, you do not need the Beis Shammai. Enu tzorach she'ein lo takana. He has no, I don't know what the proper word to say, but he has no remedy. I mean, there's nothing you can do. So are you going to say that he should remain a Nazir the Olam because he can't?
So he doesn't even say to do it, even though you don't have hair, just as a ceremony.
He says you don't have to do it because you have no remedy, so you don't. Do it. Beis Hill is the one who says.
Remain a Nazir, really?
So
So he shouldn't be allowed to have become a Nazir.
huh?
Yeah, it should have been prohibited from becoming a Nazir.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer. I mean, that's a good question. But so the Gemara says, "Hala Beis Hillel yesh lo takana." He has a takana. What is the takana? He puts the razor over his head. He's completed, whether it cuts off anything or not, but he's completed the process. All right. So let's go farther. So the Gemara says, "V'hainu d'Rapadas," and this is the position of Rapadas, the Amr of Rapadas, Beis Shammai Rabbi Lezer Amr Doferech. Beis Shammai and Rabbi Lezer hold the same thing. So the Gemara says, "My Rabbi Lezer," which Rabbi Lezer? The Sanya we learned in a brayso. The pasuk says that the Kohen has to, the person has to take the zroa and the bread and wave. She'ein bo, and then it also, now we're talking here a Metzorah. One of the things that you do by Metzorah is you take the blood from the Osham and you put it on his finger,
Right thumb.
the thumb and the big toe. All right. So what about if a person Ein lo bohen yad. He has no right thumb. The Mitzora has no right thumb.
He has no hand.
No, it's just.
No,
Eh,
Thumb in his right hand.
Blood goes on the thumb.
Or a big 20.
I mean, he could have, he has, either he has no hand or he doesn't have a thumb, but he doesn't have where you're supposed to put the dot. Okay? So what do you do now? You're supposed to put the blood on his thumb and his big toe. He doesn't have one. So the Brisa says, Ein lo taharo ilamas. This Mitzora can never, he remains a Mitzora. He's stuck. Now, I mean, I think okay, but all right. Divrei Rabbi Elazar, Reb Shimon Omer, Yenichanu al Makomo. Okay, let's say he has a stump or he has something. You could put it where it should have been. Yenichanu al Makomo. Huh? On the stump, or right. I mean, if he doesn't have a hand, he has something. You can put it. You can put it there, where it says. Yinichenu al makom of yotzai. The chachamim amrim, and the chachamim say, Yoniach al shel smol v'yetz, and the chachamim say, put it on the other hand.
Makes sense.
The problem is that the Torah says on Bohain, on Yamino, his right, the right.
To do the avoider.
Yeah.
But so what the Chum are saying, he doesn't have a left, a right. Put it on the left. For the Evid,
But on the left ear and the left toe also?
Huh?
The uniform, left ear, left toe?
Not necessarily.
Good caution.
Good catch. Good catch.
You can't do it exactly.
So the Chacham Yoniach al shel small v'yotze. Okay, so Lishnach Rina Amrile. So they said this piece of Gemara over in a different lashon. Amarav Tanufa ben Nazir Makeves. The Rav says that the Nazir, in order to complete his process, has to do the waving of the parts of the ocean. Aliba the man, according to who? Ilema Aliba the Rebbe Lazar. If you want to say it's according to Rebbe Lazar, who says that everything is ma'akev, right? You have to do everything in order to complete the process. Pshita. So that I mean, Rav is not telling us a chiddush, right? Ella liba the Rabbanan. So you want to say that Rav is telling you, even according to the Rabbanan, who say that it's not, that other things may not be ma'aka, but the tenufa is. So the Gemara says that can't. Hasta yesh loimer taglachas amri abadan loim akva. Now that we've already established before that according to the Chamam, taglachas, which is part on the goof of the person, is not ma'akev. So are you going to tell me that tenufim avoile? You're going to ask a question about the waving, which in other places the Gemara said it's shori mitzvah. Are you going to tell me that he holds it's ma'akev? So the Gemara says, Mimo ma'achvi basani. We learned in the Brisa. Huh? Yeah, Zos Taurus and Nazir. Bein sheyesh lo kapayim, bein shein lo kapayim. The Brisa says that there's one rule that applies to all Nazirim. And whether he has a hand or he doesn't have a hand. So that this price implies that what? The way we learned it before, it implies that if the one who didn't have a hand is Yotza because doesn't have a hand, so the one who does have a hand is also, it's not Ma'akiv, so this is a shwer to what we're saying before. Elo, the Gemara says, Hadasanya, we learned in the Bryce. Zos Taurus and Nazar, Bain Sheyesh Lo Seir, Bain Shein Lo Seir. Whether he has hair or he doesn't have hair, are you going to learn it the same way? Hakinami de Makva. So the Gemara says Vasanya, but we learned in the Bryce or Nazar Memula, Beishama Yomrim Ein Sorach Lahaver Sar Rosha, Beisil Omrim Sorach. So the Gemara says Amr Ravavina. My Sorach Lebesil. What is Sorach to Beisil? It means Sorach, he needs to cut his hair, the ain't no takana. And Beisil, so Beisil is saying that Sorach, he needs to cut his hair, and since he doesn't have any hair and he can't, ain't no takana. So he would remain a Nazir forever. That's the way the Gemara wants to explain it now. So the Gemara says now, Lebe Shammai.
Would he have explained that before becoming
Huh?
a Nazir? The Nazir is missing some quality that he can't get out of us. Wouldn't he be instructed on that, or wouldn't there be some way of being told that?
In other words, you shouldn't become a Nazir.
But if he doesn't know
Doesn't know the rules, yeah, doesn't know the rules.
I don't know.
You'll be instructed.
If it's possible that you can have a situation where a person takes Nazirus on their own without informing anybody. So there would be no one to warn him in advance. If he makes a statement before 2 or 3 of his neighbors, if such and such occurs, or such and such doesn't occur, I will become. They used to say that they're gonna be able to inform him in advance. Oh, don't do it. You're wrong. You're not gonna have-
they don't see that.
Okay, whatever.
Maybe that's a Pesach thing removed in that.
That's the issue. But notice, right, the Lishna Achrina has the reverse people.
Right.
He's saying.
The Mishnah had the reverse of it.
And what was it?
So the Gemara says the Beis Shammai that who argues on Beis Hillel, Yeshlo takon. He has a takon. Upliga the Reb Pedas, and he argues. Beis Shammai argues on the Bar Pedas. Okay, I'm going to stop here, and he'll pick up in the Mishnah on Shabbos.
Yeah. Good job. That's your correct. Go ahead.
Clean up the pipes. What?
Michael, thank you very much. Baruch, thank you very much.
Good Shabbos.
Have a good job.
Have a good Shabbos.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, but you're done. Ruben, after all that hard work, you wanna ride up? You're gonna walk.
Marty,
I'm going to walk.
good for you.
And it was hard work.
Oh, she's Torah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Yes, you call.